How dare you record this whole thing?
I don't understand how the Good Brother Morning doesn't have that cut off. Like in my recordings, I never have that.
What, they leave the fucking recording in progress?
Or they may have like actually put it in the intro, but if you listen to the intro right before it fades out, it has that woman's voice saying "recording in progress." But
I don't know, maybe they like it.
You are listening to the Anthony Brendan conversation. Know what I love about this podcast?
No.
I know how many we've done because it's just the number of months in the year. So we're in the 7th month, and this is the 7th podcast.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I pitched this to Kingdom literally a minute ago, and that's what we're doing. For this first little, you'll get like a little sampler. Like it's like we're drug dealers. We're giving you a little bit to get hooked on.
Jesus
you got
Christ.
6 months to catch up on in the rest of this episode. But we're just going to have a little chit-chat and then get into other things later on. But what were you side-eyeing over there?
A friend's OnlyFans. I don't throw a lot of money onto OnlyFans, but usually every once in a while I will throw down like $5 or whatever for a month on somebody's OnlyFans, including like friends, including people I know, right? Because if you're not going to buy your friends porn, whose porn are you gonna buy?
This
is my friend B, who used to what the hell was her gimmick name on Naked News?
Oh, she was on one of your podcasts, right?
No, that's Kate.
Okay.
Oh no, she was.
Okay.
She was on my Star Wars Day podcast. She was on my Star Wars Day podcast. Yes, you're absolutely right. I forget about that one sometimes because it's actually like it's either 11 or 13 different people that I spoke to real quick. And now I can't remember what her. I'm actually going to look it up because I want to get this right.
So okay, I'll tell you. Did I tell you what happened like Boxing Week with my OnlyFans? Not addiction, but my sampler.
Yeah. Boxing Week with your OnlyFans, not addiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I saw all the tweets about like, oh, Boxing Week sale, Boxing Day sale. It's only $3 for the month instead of $20. It's only $2. And I signed up to so many OnlyFans. My Visa like suspected. I've never had my Visa like cut off something before.
Very nice. Did they call you and say, hey?
No, I just tried to sign up for like a 7th or 8th or maybe 10th account, and it literally just went, your card's declined. And I was like, why is it declined? And then I think I like tried to test out like the McDonald's app or something to like see if my card was wrong. And it's just like, no, looking at my balance, it just went OnlyFans, 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 OnlyFans. That's like, this seems like it's possibly spam.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I can sign up for anyone's OnlyFans. But I've said this before, and especially if you're not on the Patreon, I'm very open on the Patreon. I just told Kingdom about a story of me possibly getting into a fight at my first wrestling show in front of a crowd again this year. Mm-hmm. So there's already that podcast that's available. It's a little audio journal of my match back. That's available on my Patreon. But yesterday, OnlyFans got brought up, and I may have accidentally called Bill Chase a creep. I just used him as
why was that an accident? I'll say that like full-throated sincerity.
Wow, this is
no, I'm just teasing.
Okay, Bill Chase is a great dude.
Still listening to this? Okay.
I don't. This is on Handsome Genius Club, and this is Brendone podcast feeds also, so I don't know.
Yeah. Bill Chase.
Bill Chase is a great dude. He's just a very hairy dude. He looks like Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
But he was bringing up, like, someone mentioned OnlyFans, and it was that weird... I'm a person that if you joke about something around me and you assume it's going to be, like, a bad joke or whatever, I'm just going to correct you because I think it's either low-hanging fruits, like a racial or a homophobic joke, I'm just going to correct you and just be like, what? Like, there's an old dude I work with, he's, like, 55, 60 maybe, and I always make anal sex jokes around him, and he's like, that's kind of gay, like, there's all this... I'm like, hey, I'm not a rocket scientist, but you can't get pregnant in that back door. I know that much, at least. And
you are inceptioning your own story here.
Yes, but that was the only little cue. I'm going back so that you can plug your friends' OnlyFans. But Bill Chase brought up, well, I support people's OnlyFans. I'm just like, well, are you subscribed to any? And he's like, no, but like I'll like retweet or what. I'm like, my girlfriend has OnlyFans. He's like, oh, and he just did a very like
that's too much. Yeah, that's too strong a reaction.
And I fed off of that where I just went, and that's why I don't promote it on anyone. I don't follow it on because wrestling fans are creeps. And he's like, well, like I'm not saying you are essentially a creep, but that reaction,
that's creepy.
Other people.
That was pretty creepy.
On my feed earlier, I'm doing a card talk that if you're on the This Is Brendone podcast feed, that's a Patreon thing I do almost weekly. I'm doing that for public this week. And what I'm actually talking about on there is a thing called, I need to find the right fucking term for it, parasocial interaction. When it refers to that weird what leads to celebrity stalkers and them murdering celebrities where they think they're friends.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm doing a full thing about that because I needed to defuse a situation recently with a local wrestler and a local fan of just like being direct. And she didn't want to be direct with them because she didn't want to go from 30 messages to 2. She was just annoyed. And I was just like, hey, it's direct communication. And my favorite thing to do now is when someone comments something, I'm just going to reply to it. If I think you're wrong, I'm going to reply to it. And normally my argument isn't you're wrong. My argument is that's one perspective, but you also have to care about everyone else. Like when people are fuck the vaccine, I don't give a shit. I'm young enough that if I get COVID in 30 years, if I live, there's a chance I'm like, oh yeah, I had that. It sucks for a few months or a year. You're 50. You're near the thing of you don't have that 30 years to recover from COVID. Like that.
No. And just being young isn't a guarantee that you're going to recover from COVID. I mean,
but it's a story.
Let's not get into the joke.
I am half vaccinated. From the last time we did the ABC podcast, Good. I am half vaccinated as of now.
Get your second shot.
Anyways, when I'm able to. So what is your friend's OnlyFans account?
Her naked news name was Catherine Curtis. I always forget that. Anyways, it's onlyfans.com/overlairb, which I don't understand that as a gimmick name, but OVERLAIRBEE. And yes, she has been on the show. And the other
check
one
that in the archives.
Yeah. So throw down a couple of bucks, support a friend. Yeah. Anyways, what is this? What is this preview thing? You said it and I don't understand it. So, I just do what you say.
Hey, I got you way more patrons this year because of that.
Yeah, you got me a few. I need to up that number still, man. You're at what, 26 now?
30. I just reached the goal. I got to make that Katie Vick promo.
Shit. Oh, very good, man.
But I've also posted like 400 times in the past 7 months.
Yeah.
I'm a crazy person. Oh my God.
What? You just get a text message or something?
I got a booking inquiring for a show where one of the people on my will not work with list is on the fucking poster for a title match.
Oh, text me a screenshot right now. Text me a screenshot right now.
I will. And by the way, if you're on my Patreon, I actually recorded a message and explaining why I won't work with these people, and that's available for all tiers on my Patreon. That went up Monday. Like my life is a fucking sitcom. How does this happen? Oh, the only thing is I need to reply to him after we're finished talking. But
yeah.
Now
I'm side-eyeing the Naked News website. Ooh. Because they have
has it been updated?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the anchors page and thinking how many of these women I know from the club.
Because it was filmed in Toronto, right?
It still is.
Okay, that's why I asked if it was updated. I didn't know Naked News is still a thing.
Oh, yeah, it's still a thing. I don't know what today's show is. I've never been a subscriber to Naked News. It's just that there's, one. Oh, no, I know her because she interviewed me. Let's see. One. Scrolling. 2, 3.
I also saw a person at the show yesterday that they follow me on Instagram, so I kind of know who they were. Yeah. But they look like they're maybe 5'10", 6 foot on Instagram. And if it is a person I saw yesterday, they are legit 5'2". Like, it was a weird, like, wait a minute, that person's that person? And yeah, it's very interesting.
So at least 7 of these girls, current and former, have worked at my club.
Yeah, makes sense. Because Naked News is like the soft chorus of porn, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Did you get my text?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me old man this.
Oh, and to explain the preview, we're going to go into your the new segment on the podcast going forward. What did you call it? The Yahoos Answer?
Yeah, instead of Yahoo Answers, it's Yahoos Answer.
I love that.
Because we're Yahoos.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I would love if, like, contact Jimmy to make, like, an animated intro for that splashes on, like, a Nickelodeon logo or something. Dude, my life's a fucking sitcom, brother.
Oh, I bet it wouldn't take me too long to figure out who the person on your list is.
Well, that person's a trainer. It's not a king.
What?
That person on my list. There's 3 names on the list. Wait, you don't know my list?
No, I bet I could guess your list, but now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And I just sent you my list, by the way.
Okay.
That's in case when Union runs again, which is actually one of the questions we'll get into on the Patreon side of it. If you want to know the future of Go Hard Pro and the Wrestlers Union, sign up to our Patreons. Ding! But for this portion, I want to go through, like, the dating questions, our little things, any recent relationship stuff, and then the further questions and such will be Patreon only, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you get like 15 minutes of the 40 or the 45 hour and a half episode.
Okay.
Little drug dealer.
Oh, God.
Me and Pretty Ricky are recording a podcast just to how much we're inspired and respect Matt Cardona on Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that. Yeah, those are the 3 names I knew.
Makes sense. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you and Pretty Ricky are welcome to set whatever forest fires you want.
What do you mean forest fire? For praising someone?
No. Here's the thing.
Yes.
And I don't know I should say this at all.
We want to save it for the... Should I pause the recording?
Yeah, pause.
Okay. You got to remember to edit this, too. So, Naked News, dating advice. But yeah, me and Pretty Ricky are just... Because a lot of what Matt Cardona has done, especially with, like, the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, that has led to my Patreon being the way it is, and I spread it to you and Good Brother Morning of, like, this is the way it is, because I think you should be a fan of something before you do it. And he was actually episode 49 of Z True Hollywood, or Z True Long Island Story with Zack Ryder in, like, 2011. Pretty Ricky, as a fan, is actually the broski of the week. And this will come back. Don't fucking put your head down. You just commented when I put you over to be like, hey, check out my buddy's podcast. Did you really need to put 5 samples? You couldn't just put 1? You couldn't just put the link to your stuff?
Hold on. First of all, I put my head down because I was laughing. Okay. Because I had completely forgotten about the broski of the week.
Okay.
That's fucking hilarious.
I apologize for my defensiveness.
Yeah. What? And second, what the fuck was that?
That was going to be a pet peeve that I was going to bring up.
What? Because I posted samples?
Yeah, multiple samples. You could have done with 1.
I had them all there in the same file, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to pick one. I'm just going to put a bunch.
I'm just saying.
So?
I'm just saying.
No, but what's wrong with that?
I'm just saying, I feel if someone's putting over their own stuff... Don't tell me about all the menu items. Tell me your best menu item. If Chris Van Vliet, who's the person I reply to, didn't have the and don't tag your own podcast, that's why I wasn't going to reply to it at all. I just wanted to give the rub to my butt.
I didn't tag my own podcast.
But you replied. Yeah.
You tagged it. And I replied
with your own podcast.
Right. You opened the door, so I walked in.
You barged in.
And then I tagged your podcast.
Oh, you did? I didn't see that.
Okay, so what the fuck is this about? Why are you hot at me for this?
Defensiveness. Did you? I don't see the tag. Did you actually? Did you tag at Brendone C?
Yes.
Oh, that account's dormant. I only use that account to see who blocked me and who's talking shit. But speaking of which, we got some dating questions.
Oh my god. Oh, you're a lot sometimes.
All the time.
Yeah. No, I didn't get any dating questions. I got other questions.
We did get one though, from Diamond Jim.
Yeah, but that's not a dating question. Do you think that's a dating question? That's life advice.
Yeah, I just realized that because I saw Tim's question, and that was very much just a conversation one.
Yeah.
I did
Diamond Jim Lowe from Barrie Wrestling. Oh, was that out loud? Diamond Jim Lowe from Barrie, Ontario sent a message to say, "Can you help me get my hair back?" No. That's the answer. That's the time. Like, you can, if you wanted to, Jim, you could grow out the hair you have and then get plugs where they take hair from the back and move it to the front. But I wouldn't recommend that. I would not recommend that at all. I think you look just dandy the way you are, Jim. And I would not see. I don't know anything about
his marital status.
Ew. No.
Oh, I thought that's what. Okay.
I was gonna say Rogaine.
Oh.
Or other what's the other one called? Propecia?
No, isn't Propecia like what you have, or is that alopecia or alopecia?
No, that's alopecia. Yes, Propecia is the name of medication for hair growth. I don't know the efficacy of either of those things.
Top It is a spray, right?
Yeah, but that's not getting your hair back. That's just.
But if you can
that's
grow
spray
it out.
painting your head.
But if you can grow it out enough, like right now, I could use Top It if I grow out my hair a bit.
Sure,
you can't.
No, I wouldn't try. I'm fine. I should shave my head more often. But no, the short answer, Jim, is no. Cannot help you get your hair back short of getting plugs, which I do not recommend. I think you're fine. I think you're a handsome man the way you are.
So then if we didn't get any dating question, which by the way, now going forward for ABC number 8, because next month is the 8th month. I love knowing what episode it is.
Yeah. Really on the Patreon, send life and love. I'll post earlier about it. I posted about it. Yes. Did I post about it yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I meant the tweet went up real late.
Oh yeah.
But so I will toss in one of my Patreon questions because I have a couple here from Dylan Graydon. You didn't talk about the Cleveland, the new sports.
The Guardians.
Yeah, you didn't talk about that on your podcast yet, did you?
No, I don't think I did. A little, because I may have mentioned it a little because I was talking about some. Yes, I did mention it a little.
Was it official yet?
On yesterday's podcast. The Saturday podcast, I mentioned people complaining about it are big dumb dummies, which is the worst type. The worst type of dummy is the big dumb dummy. And
that's what people think I
am. Do they?
Yeah, and then they realize I'm smart. Matt Terry found that out like 4 days ago.
Oh, Matt Terry. So
I love you, Matt, but
whenever you mention a name, my response is usually to just repeat the person's name and say, oh.
Or you look down and laugh, and I take it defensively.
Yeah.
So how do you? Was it on Facebook that you made that Edmonton comparison?
Yes.
So that was great. Like, can you just say what that was again for anyone who didn't hear it?
I know a guy. Sorry, closing an OnlyFans window, but I stalled.
All the blood rushed to the wrong head.
No. My blood knows where to go. If it's heading somewhere that I don't expect, that's my problem.
Oh Lord.
I said that there's because I know people in Cleveland. I still know people from Cleveland, and one of them is a person that was on the list of folks that I basically said goodbye to last year because I was done defending and arguing and preaching and even discussing politics with people who are so deeply right wing that common sense and critical thinking have left them. And one particular person posted a list of pro and college sports teams like the Chicago Blackhawks and the Atlanta Braves, and he even posted the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but the last name on the list was the Edmonton Eskimos, asking, "Are we now going to change all these names?" And I said, I hope he filled his fucking diaper when somebody posted the new logo for the Edmonton Elks, because the Eskimos have already changed their name. You know, if you look around, if you're
sport
not,
is that? Sorry,
that's the CFL. That's okay. Canadian Football League. If you aren't a complete moron, you'll have noticed that Canada is going through a reckoning right now to do with the residential school system, which was a program of well over 100 years, where children were taken from reserves and put into boarding schools, and a lot of kids died. A lot of, like, they would say that they ran away, but the fact is that they were treated so brutally that many died, many committed suicide during their time at these schools. And Canada is now going through a reckoning where hundreds.
I just sent you a photo. There's a terrifying infographic that says, so far 1,665 children grave sites have been found.
Unmarked grave sites.
And that's only 8 out of 139 residential schools in Canada.
Right. And that's
terrifying.
This school system lasted until the
96?
Is it 96 was the last one?
Went to the 90s.
Yeah. So this is not that long ago that this was happening. And so if the most important thing, here, I'll just read it to you. If the toughest thing that happens to you today is some bullshit about a pro sports team that you happen to fancy, then either your life is too comfortable and you need some real strife to occupy your mind, or you're just a big dumb dummy. Probably both. And this guy in Cleveland, it was predictable that he would. This is the kind of guy I've actually erased segments, at least one segment of a show, because it was too targeted at this one individual.
Did you name
like
names?
No.
Did you name
well, at the time, yeah, I did, and it's unnecessary. It was unnecessary. I don't want contact with the guy, so why would I do that?
Dude, that's the thing. So at the show even yesterday, there's weird situations in wrestling, and it's when bringing out the parasocial whatever of when people are like, "Oh, do you have a problem with it? Oh, do you have heat with them?" There's a way to not have heat with someone. They just don't exist in your fucking world. You don't need to know everyone. And like when you were my age, How many people from elementary school did you know bought a house today or got married yesterday? You didn't have fucking social media telling you, oh, this person that you knew for a year, 20 years ago, they're now whatever. Whereas now you see all this and, oh, if you unfollow me, because you and Hacker talked about it on your podcast, Ricky Stardust, I saw him at the show, and we brought up just people being unfollowed and stuff of, it's not a fuck you, fuck. There's too many connections, and especially like someone like me who's in my 20s, I'm not 30, I don't need to be friends, and I like Ricky Stardust for the record. Cool. So I literally saw, actually, no, I don't need to pause the recording. So I go, if there's people in their 40s, I'm not even 30, I was talking to Captain Dirtybeard about that today. I don't need to be friends with you. And then people mistake being friendly for being friends, and just there's separation. If I'm pursuing wrestling as a solid crumbs equal crumb cake sort of thing, and you're having fun in it, cool. But don't think like we're at the same level. Because if you do something twice a month and you want to do it at a top level, I don't think you're doing it at a top level if you're not doing it 2 to 3 times a week.
At the club, we used to give each other shit for using the word friends. We're not friends. We work together. You're a workplace proximity acquaintance.
And that's the title of the episode.
And we used to give our one doorman a hard time about it all the time. Whenever he'd call us friends, don't use the F word at us. And it's not that he and I aren't friends. It's that I want to break you of the habit of assuming that the people you work with are friends. You can have friendly discourse with them, but at the end of the day, how many people from my job do I consort with outside of work? Mm-hmm. Right? How many of those people, and how many people are you friendly with because you're going to see them 5 days a week, right?
Yep.
Like if you didn't need to keep up good relations with them for work related stuff, mm-hmm. and 2, because
unnecessary annoyances.
Because you're together 40 hours a week, so you might as well be friendly. Then how many of them would you talk to? Like, I've been lucky in that at my job I've met people that I'm friendly with outside of work, but I've also met a lot of people that, like an overwhelming number of people, because of like the comings and goings in my particular workplace. I've probably known thousands of people that, fuck, I couldn't remember your name if you were sitting in front of me wearing a sign or a name tag. Every once in a while I'll think of somebody as like, hey, I wonder whatever happened to them. But that thought goes away.
I started at work for the past year of, I'm not going to remember anyone's name at work because like it's a waste of energy and bandwidth for me. Of it doesn't matter if we don't hang out of here, we can be friendly, but I know my brain works. Google Glass fucked me up. I realized that's what fucked me up. It's in 2011 when all the prototypes were happening and I was into like the tech news and everything, I was convinced that we were going to have a little piece of glass here that would
see somebody's face and
the Facebook profile comes up and you're like, that's who it is. So I add all these motherfuckers. Tracy. I add all these motherfuckers. Should I watch Dick Tracy? Is it a good movie?
Yeah, supposedly. I don't know. I've never watched it.
I'm not watching it then. I don't take recommendations unless people are like over the moon about it, and then even then it takes me 5, 10, 25 years to watch it. Yeah. But with this is when offline when we paused it for a second there of being an asshole. It's that's an asshole thing to do, but I think the dick thing to do is to expect that your life is so fucking important that everyone should care about you, where it's not anyone else's job.
Listen.
Yes, I might be a supervillain. I think
you're one step too far there, Hank Scorpio.
Yo, he got
there's nothing wrong with, and actually, Hank Scorpio is the exact opposite of what we're talking about, because Hank would remember your name.
Maybe Dr. Evil.
There's nothing wrong with remembering somebody's name. Learn somebody's name. be polite to them. If you're going to see them over and over again, if you're working with them, it would only be polite for you to be able to say, hey, Tom, can you help me with this? As opposed to, hey, you worker drone number 147.
Well, so I need to
hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. That's Chief. Hey, Chief. Think you can lift this for me?
I will put this on the caveat. A, you don't need buddy, pal, or a name there. You can just say, hey, can you help me? Number two, it's a very rotating door where I would be working next to someone loading a truck, and they last for 2 days. And then the next person lasts for 1 day. And then the next person lasts for 3 days. And then they got all these weird gimmick names that are worse than wrestlers.
Okay. So then you learn somebody's name for 2 days.
Oh, I just can't. My brain at fucking 2 a.m. in the morning after doing all of this content, keeping up all this shit, like, I do not have the bandwidth for it. But if you work with me long enough and I hear other people call your name enough, I'll do the deduction. And if your name is simple like Richard, it'll take me like 5 weeks to learn it. Okay. But there was just so many names, and then especially in wrestling, how many times did you meet a motherfucker one time, and then you met them 2 years later, and you're like, "Hi, I'm Kingdom," and they go, "I know, we met 3 years ago." Suck my left nut. But yes, I might be a supervillain in the making, and you can find out on the Patreon version because I think we should swap over to that now if you're okay with that.
Hold on, real quick. I'm just gonna say, it's not wrong to make an effort to learn people's names. Terry Funk, I met him. I can't even remember the first time I met him, but years later at an ECW show in Buffalo, he was like, yeah, I know you, and this is where I know you from, and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, wow, Terry Funk fucking remembers me?
Okay.
Why?
So I would bring up more so
make a little effort.
How many strippers remember your name? How many strippers are you the hey buddy for?
Oh, strippers don't say hey buddy. Strippers say
hey music man.
No, shut up. Let me finish my own fucking sentence. You stupid punk.
Big dumb dummy.
You big dumb dummy. Strippers say hey babe. Strippers use the word babe the way you use the word
I just use hey.
Huh?
Hey or bro.
No, the way wrestlers use the word gimmick. Everybody is babe. Babe. Everybody is babe to strippers.
I will end it on this note because I forgot to mention it earlier. This is where I take the appreciation of us having professional wrestling. There's a 2-decade age difference between us.
Yes.
And by the way, I told my dad that you turned 50 this year, and he's like, oh, he's old. I'm like, bro, you turned 55 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's old. I'm like, yeah, but you're older.
Tell your dad I said to shut up.
As long as you guys are making fun of each other and not me for once. But what happens of normal people, they don't get the benefit of this extracurricular activity of we're all chasing a passion, we're all chasing a dream of like, you notice the people that work hard, and those are the people you ride with, those are the people, like, for instance, Terry Funk probably remembered you because you were good at your shit. A lot of people get forgettable because they're not good music people, or there's the guy from Nash Bridges, Bruce Pritchard, brought it up, where it was literally, don't make me learn your name, which was like an intern that he was gonna. So with normal people though, it's school and work are the only places that they meet someone. Most people don't have soccer or whatever. It's always you're forced to be with these people. It's like a Stockholm syndrome friendship.
Yes. Absolutely.
But let's go into the other questions. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're listening to this on the Handsome Genius Club, I am at patreon.com/BrendoneC, BRENDONE, the letter C, and at Holden Pro on most accounts. And
if you're listening to this on Mr. Albright's site, then you can find me at My Name is Kingdom, all one word, MYNAMEISKINGDOM. On everything, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, twitch.tv/My Name is Kingdom. But yeah, fucking subscribe.
You get a bunch of great content, and if you DM us, we have to answer it because, like, you pay for the support. You're not one of these people that are like, oh, I really appreciate you, and then I just send you my Patreon link to go, oh, do you? That's how I get my patrons. I go, oh, really? Here's the thing. But the funny thing is now, for any of the Patreons listening, they just got an outro in the middle of the fucking show. So I think that's a little fun.